Hello, I'm Helen Bradley. Welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to have a look at creating a spot color effect in Lightroom. Before we get started with this tutorial, let's see what it is that we're trying to achieve. This is the final result. It's an image where the phone boxes are in color and the rest of the image is in black and white. This is the original image and this is what we're aiming for. Now we can't just isolate the color red because there's a lot of other colors happening in these phone boxes. So let's just wind back our history to where we opened this image and let's see how we would create this effect. So I'm going to start in the Develop module in Lightroom and I'm going to open up this right hand panel. Now I've already made the adjustments I want to this image, so what we need to do now is to deal with the spot color effect, and to do that I'm going to click here on HSL. This is Hue, Saturation, Lightness, and what I want to do is click on Saturation. This would open hue, this would open luminance, but saturation is the one that we want to affect. And what we want to do is to drag the saturation on every single one of these colors to -100. And what that does is desaturates the image. It turns it into a black and white image. -100 on everything. Now let's go back and bring our color back in, and to do that I'm going to click on the adjustment brush. Now this image is an earlier process version. If I want to bring it up to the most recent process version, I'll just alt click on this icon there, and now we've brought it up to the current process version. And what I want to do is to look for this saturation slider, and this is the same in any version of Lightroom. You can do it in earlier versions. You want all these other sliders set to their default value, which in Lightroom 4 and 5 is 0, and then you want the saturation set to 100. Now we're going to look at our brush. I think I'm going to turn on Auto Mask. And with a saturation brush, all I'm going to do is to paint back in the saturation on the image. And I want this paint to go all over my phone boxes. So I'm just going to paint around the edge. The Auto Mask is really handy at this point, except for the area that I've just painted over, because what it allows you to do is to use the little crosshair in the middle. Any part of the image that is the same color as under the crosshair will be picked up within the ambit of the brush. So it does a lot of your masking for you. I find it really handy for a job like this. So once I've got my edges in place, and I'm pretty right with my edges, now I can turn Auto Mask off, increase the size of my brush, and just do a really big paint job, because I don't want to auto mask at this point. I want everything in the telephone booths to be brought back into color. And once I've done that, then I can just neaten up any problem areas. I can show my mask overlay to make sure that I've got all the right areas, and see also where I might not have something. So I think I'm missing a little bit in there, but you can see that I've got some areas that I didn't mean to get as well. So I'm going to click on the erase option here, make sure Auto Mask is not enabled, and then just paint out the areas where I don't want the saturation to be brought back into the image. Now this is the kind of effect that you can do, for example, with a bride's bouquet. It works really, really well in wedding photography, but there are other images that you'll find from time to time that really lend itself to this treatment. So once I've got my masking back in place, oops, didn't mean to do that, so let's just undo that. Let's go back to brush A. Got just a little bit of painting to do down the edge here, and once that's back in, I can turn my mask overlay off, and we're just going back to the image. So there's the effect. This is what we started off with, a full color image. We removed the saturation from the entire image, and then we just painted the saturation back on where we wanted it. I'm Helen Bradley. Thank you for joining me for this Skillfeed video. Look out for more of my videos here at skillfeed.com. To help you learn a little bit more about Lightroom, I've made this original image available to you as a download. This is for your own personal purposes, It's not to be used for commercial purposes, and it can't be sold or given away, as the image itself remains copyright to me. In addition to finding video tutorials of mine here on Skillfeed, you can also find me elsewhere on the web. You can follow me at Twitter, where I'm Helen Bradley. At Google+, I'm Plus Helen Bradley, and at Facebook, I'm Project Woman. And my website is projectwoman.com.